Welcome back to the Football Friday podcast presented by Football Fever. Today, as you've seen by the title, we're going to be reacting to the Champions League draw today, the quarterfinals, which also leads into the semi-finals and the final. We'll also have a quick look at some of the news involving Ibrahimovic and Chris Wilde, and have a quick look over the Europa League draw. We've got me, Jacob, and Zach again as usual. If you want to see more guests, let us know. And should we just get straight into it?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Right.
First up is Ibrahimovic returns to the Sweden team after 5 years. Now, this was quite a shock to me, and I think it was to everyone, to be honest. I didn't really see him returning, but how old is he? 39?
38.
Yeah.
38. So
And he's probably still Sweden's best player. 39.
yeah. I mean,
So
Isaac is coming through, isn't he? But he's obviously not.
that colour, that Juventus right
yeah,
wing.
yeah. We have a few young
Mhm.
players, to be fair, but I mean, how much do you think he'll be able to come in and help them then? Like, obviously,
I think
yeah,
I think he'll come in, get a couple of goals. What I think they obviously will help any team with getting some goals,
Uh-huh.
but because that's what his job is really.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I think that's what Sweden need. Obviously got Isaac coming through, like you said, but right now I think Ibra coming back is a great thing for them.
yeah. Also, he'll also give the fans something to enjoy as well. And I think there's not much more to speak about that, to be honest. So, Zach, I know you have something to say about Chris Wilde leaving Sheffield United. And I remember Jacob was the one telling me about this before it actually got announced, because, what was it, Jacob? But there was a bit of confusion over whether he had left at the start.
Yeah, if he'd left or he's been sacked, because it was kind of like. So he came out and said that he's been sacked, apparently. And then the club said, putting a statement out that they've not sacked the manager. And then around about maybe an hour, 2 hours after that, it was confirmed that Chris Wilde has left.
Yeah.
So it was all a bit weird.
Well, Zach, I know he's had a good 4 or 5 years at Sheffield United, and then obviously this season it's gone downhill. But I know, Zach, you can tell us a bit more, a few facts and stuff about his time at Sheffield United.
Well, he spent 5 years there, as you said. And what's interesting, he's took them from League One to the Premier League inside 3 years' time, 3 to 4 years' time. That's promotion, twice in 3 years, and that's really good, especially for a team that was in League One. And in his first year in the Premier League, he shocked the whole world by finishing a whopping 8th place and only 4 points off Europa League. So I don't think anyone really expected that. I think everyone expected them to probably go straight back down.
Yeah.
And what people expected happened this year. They're rock bottom with a shocking 4 wins, 2 draws, and 23 losses.
Yeah.
It's very bad for them. And talking on that, they've only scored 16 goals this season in the Premier League.
It is quite shocking this season, and a bit sort of about them. I think obviously how well they did last season. Jake will be able to know that. I think they set for teams like Leeds that come up into the Premier League. I think Sheffield United set quite a high bar, because obviously everyone's saying where did he want Leeds to finish this season? Want them to be challenging Europa League like Sheffield United were, but I think it just shows how much of an anomaly season it was.
Yeah.
I agree with Zach that everyone expected them to go down. And they certainly are going down this season, but I think 4 wins and 2 draws and 23 losses is quite appalling. And now, obviously, like Zach said, was it inside a few years he's gotten from League One to Premier League? That's actually very good. But obviously this season it's got to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think next we should go into the draws around Europe. We'll start with Europa League, then go on to the Champions League. And the first game was Granada against Manchester United. Obviously, these will both be 2 legs. The the order we say now will be the home team first leg, and then the away team will be home second leg. Now,
Mhm.
I mean, talking about home and away, do you think home first is worst, or I should say, being away first is worst? Because I know, especially with fans, I feel like teams would benefit from playing home second. But I'm not sure if the same thing will apply. Obviously with no fans. But yeah, all right. We'll just get into the draws. Granada against Manchester United, like I said. Should this be an easy win for Manchester United, do you think?
Well, on paper, you'd say that Man United would easily win. But with how this season's going, you should expect anything to happen. And I feel like Granada will put up a fight, but I think United will take it and go into...
Yeah. With the money that Man you've got on the team, it should be an easy win for Man U.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably say from just the fixtures, I'd probably expect. Well, obviously we'll talk about games in more depth, but I'd probably say I'd expect Arsenal and Man United to be in the final. Oh, actually, do Arsenal play Manchester United in the semis if they go through? I'm not sure if they do. I think someone might need to tell us in the comments if that is true, or I'll find out by the end. But next we do have Arsenal against Slavia Praha. Obviously, Slavia did make. Did they beat Rangers?
Yeah.
Who obviously having a fly high season, but I do think Arsenal are definitely probably going to win this one.
Well, you say that, but they did beat Leicester as well. Be fair to them.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah. And I've just looked, and Arsenal and Manchester United don't play each other, so I would stick by my thing saying Arsenal and Man United will be in the final. But so Zach, I know you said they beat Leicester. Do you think they'll also beat Arsenal?
I feel like it'll be a close game, but it'll be Arsenal just edging it, like a jammy goal. I feel like take Arsenal.
Yeah. Yeah, I probably would say the same. I assume you'll say the same, Jacob.
Yeah, but you never know, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would go the same as you guys.
And then probably the most even one is Ajax against Roma. Obviously, Ajax started in the Champions League this season. But I mean, I'll let you two say this one first. Who do you think's going to win? Obviously,
for me,
teams.
I'm going to go with Ajax. I think they're just going to edge it. I think Roma have got a good team and got some good players, but I do think Ajax have just got like that a little bit more of kind of like individual quality.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think it'll be a close one.
What I do like about Ajax in the Champions League or Europa League as it is now, but it's like because they have such a young squad. I feel like obviously they've not exactly got the experience, so they're sort of like all like just full out going for it. If you know what I mean. So like they're not a team that's going to sit back because obviously they don't really have the experience to do that. Not saying they would anyway, but they're just like always going on the attack, just relentless. Just young team, full of energy. Obviously makes them a team to enjoy watching. And winning the Eredivisie every year. And it's been a bit closer this year, but I'd agree with Jacob saying Ajax will probably just edge it. Although Roma do have a lot of good players and also a lot of young players, to be fair to them. And the final Europa League game was Dynamo Zagreb against Villarreal. Now, Zagreb have just knocked out Tottenham, shockingly. 3-0, I think it was. And have you seen the first goal by Orsic?
Yeah, for me, Dynamo Zagreb to win it. Orsic, the new Messi. And
Yeah, I would agree with Jacob that they probably will win, or they will win, not probably. Would you agree, Zach?
Yeah, I feel like they will win. Dynamo Zagreb.
Yeah, I mean, I just think, especially with the form they're in, I think a lot of it is form, obviously, because, you know, in the look at a league, you need obviously good form, obviously, to win, but it's like a league's over a long time. But since Dynamo Zagreb will have all that confidence from beating Tottenham, that they'll be able to progress again, you know, because it's obviously 2 games, home and away. But yeah, I do think Zagreb will progress. And do you have any thoughts on who will win the Europa League, Zach?
I do feel like it will be, like Hugh says, Man United versus Arsenal. I don't know which one of those it would be, but it'll definitely be one of those two, I think.
Yeah, well, I feel like Arsenal will be like really kicking themselves, especially the fans after they lost last season to Chelsea. I think it was in the final. They'll obviously really want to win it if they get into the final again. So I think they will have a lot more. I'd say they have a lot more passion to win it. Obviously, you know, like losing it last season. You think of Liverpool, for example, losing Champions League, winner the next year. They just, I think they'll sort of want it more, which I think they will. So I'm going to put my prediction out there that Arsenal are going to win the Europa League. So I think we'll go to Champions League now, and do them in order that they came out in the group in the UEFA draw today, and starting with Chelsea against Porto. Well, obviously Porto have knocked out Juventus, been in great form, but will they be able to knock out Chelsea? Two relatively inexperienced teams in the Champions League at this stage.
For me, Porto have knocked out Chelsea with Frank Lampard as manager. Chelsea with Tuchel as manager. I think it's like because I just don't think they're going to be able to break down the defence, because since Thomas Tuchel's come in, they've like not really conceded much at all.
Yeah.
I think they've kept something like 8 clean sheets in like last 11 games. So, I mean, yeah, I think I think Chelsea are going to win this.
Yeah, I do agree. Chelsea will most likely win that. So Chelsea progressing through by us three. Man City against Dortmund, more of a could say even game. Who do you think will win this one? Obviously, Dortmund they're not doing the greatest in the Bundesliga, to be fair. Obviously, Man City are doing well in the Premier League, but obviously it comes down to, again, Champions League. Do Man City have something with the Champions League? Do you just not like it? Because obviously they never really perform in it when it gets to the later stages. But do you think Man City will be able to win?
I mean, I think Man City will get the win, but I think if there's any like player that can like change that in the Champions League right now, I think Haaland is that player.
Yeah.
Because see, Man City defensively have been a lot better recently. But I feel like just trying to defend Haaland, like interviews from like Bundesliga centre backs, experienced ones as well, they're saying like Haaland is like the hardest player that they've ever marked and stuff.
He's got a bit of everything.
Yeah, but yeah, I do think Man City, in my opinion, will win, but I think it's going to be a very high scoring.
Yeah.
Over the 2 legs, but I do think Man City are going to win.
Yeah. Do you agree, Zach?
Yeah, I feel like City will progress, but I feel like this will be a real test for Haaland, and I feel like he'll shine up to it. But Man City will progress through.
Well, the next one is Bayern Munich against PSG. Obviously, probably the 2 most informed teams in the world right now. But I sort of would have liked to see Borussia Dortmund against PSG, just to see Haaland versus Mbappe. I think it'd actually been quite cool. But obviously, like I said, the 2 most informed teams. I think this one's one of the hardest to call. But I'm personally going to go for a Bayern Munich win. Obviously, this was the final last year, wasn't it? And Bayern Munich won. But I think just based on not only just the team, but the leagues they play in as well, Bayern Munich will have more of like a fighting like passion, because PSG are used to winning games. But I do think, especially, obviously Lewandowski's always been world class, and especially this season in form. But I don't know what you think. You can put your opinions in now, but I'm gonna edge a Bayern Munich win.
I feel like Bayern Munich are more likely going to go through, obviously beating them in the final, like you said last year. But it's a really tough one to call, and like you said, it would have been very cool to see PSG Dortmund, but Bayern will just edge this one.
Yeah, I agree. Basically, everything you just said.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be the one that I think most people or everyone's going to watch. There's always that big game that everyone will want to watch. And I obviously, it will be very interesting. But it can either probably go one of two ways. Either both teams can come at it, both in form, and it'd be either a really high-scoring game, or probably a boring 0-0 or 1-1. Or it can be a, say for example PSG don't turn up, and it could be like a Bayern Munich 4-0. Kind of like the PSG against Barcelona game, where Barcelona don't turn up in the first leg. Because obviously, if you lose heavily in the first leg, I think the tie is almost over.
Unless you're Liverpool.
Oh well, yeah. Obviously, that moment will always stay with me, and I'm sure it will be Zach as well. But talking Liverpool, is Real Madrid against Liverpool was the final game to be drawn. Real Madrid home first. I'm sure Liverpool will be wanting to get revenge from the Champions League final. Not another interesting one. I'd say probably one of the more, second most exciting game that there will be. I know Real Madrid have been in quite good form in the league. Obviously, Liverpool haven't. But is it? I know Real Madrid have the highest Champions League wins. I think either Liverpool are definitely in the top 5. I'm not sure whereabouts, but two of the most Champions League experienced teams in the world coming up against each other. But how do you see this one planning out?
Well, for me, I think a lot of people might back Real Madrid, but I think Liverpool are going to win. The main reason is because of how poor. Well, whenever I've watched Real Madrid's defence, other than Ramos is good. Whenever I've watched like Varane or whoever they're playing at right back at the time, Carvajal or whoever it is, whenever I've seen them, I normally watch them when they only play against English teams. You just never seem to be able to defend.
Yeah.
But so do you know how Liverpool kind of played against Leipzig? I'm not comparing Leipzig's defence to Real Madrid's defence, but what I'm saying is I think Liverpool on the counter would just be too good for some of them defenders in the Real Madrid defence.
Yeah, I get what you mean. It's definitely going to be an interesting one, end to end. I think obviously there will be scorers, like you said. Real Madrid's defence can be shaky at times, but obviously you look at Liverpool's as well. I know Kabak's selling in quite well, played well against Wolves, and Nat Phillips has also been doing well. But obviously it's completely different. No respect to Wolves' attack. Adama, obviously world class. But I think playing against players like Benzema, who are, the world class strikers, it will definitely be a challenge. But obviously, I'd much rather prefer, no offense to him, but I'd much rather prefer play against Benzema than Lewandowski, Mbappe, Haaland. But he's definitely one of the top world class strikers, probably top 5 in the world right now. It'd be interesting to see how Liverpool's defence do, but all I can say is I'm hoping for a Liverpool win in this one, and I'm sure Zach can agree. Yeah. Well, obviously we've decided who's going to go through each Champions League group. We've said I've said I think Arsenal will win the Europa League. Who do you think is going to be the Champions League winners of this season?
I'm torn between two teams.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you guys are Liverpool fans, but I'm not going to say Liverpool in these two just because of the form they've been on.
Yeah.
On it overall. But I know Man City have been obviously poor in the Champions League, especially when they get into around about this part of the tournament. But I think if there's any time they can do it, I think now is the time.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Man City and Bayern Munich, but I'm not sure which one.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a good final, those two playing against each other. I do agree with you saying if there's any time, it's now. Obviously, they're going to win the Champions League at some point. If they go all these years, thousands of years without winning Champions League, there must be something wrong. But I mean, on my behalf, I hope Man City don't. But I do agree with Bayern Munich. It would be obviously great for them to win it back to back. But like we mentioned, well, I don't think we did mention, Real Madrid or Liverpool will be playing Chelsea, Porto, and Man City, Dortmund will be playing Bayern or PSG. So, who do you think, Zach? Obviously, Jacob said Bayern Munich or Manchester City. But
Bayern Munich. That team's pretty much unstoppable.
Obviously, Lewandowski's just on fire all the time. He doesn't really. You never really hear of the press saying he's had a bad game. He's on poor form.
Yeah, he's always consistently incredible, basically.
Yeah, I think even when he's not at his top best, he's always there scoring a goal or doing something. He's always there doing something right, which is obviously what all world class strikers are. They're always there at the right places at the right time. But I'm probably gonna back probably Bayern Munich as well, to be honest. I think with the form they're in. But most exciting Champions League game, I'm gonna say, looks to be Bayern Munich against PSG. Two of the most informed sides, and obviously Bayern Munich's defence will be a good test to see how good Mbappe is. Against tougher opponents, because we've seen Haaland. Obviously, did he score 2 against Bayern Munich the other week? So it'll be good to see how Mbappe compares. I know it's Champions League, completely different, but obviously I'll be very excited to watch that one.
I think in the last couple of years, in my opinion, I think this is not with the best team, but with the most exciting kind of things that could happen.
Yeah.
In the last few years, I think it's a lot more up for grabs with different teams. But yeah.
Yeah, I agree. From a neutral perspective, it's always interesting when there's multiple teams who could win it. But yeah, I don't think there's anything more to add, to be honest. So if you have enjoyed, follow us on Instagram or subscribe on YouTube, or download the podcast on Spotify or Google Podcasts or wherever you want. And we'll see you next Friday at 5 p.m. for the next podcast episode. And until then, hope you have a good time and see you then. Peace.
Yeah, peace.